I'm like 50% excited to talk about this and 50% shocked. I did not think this was ever going to be possible, ever. I didn't think this player and his name would ever be mentioned on this YouTube channel. The timeline of when this guy was relevant in the NHL and the Vancouver Canucks and the Buffalo Sabres, and the time in which I started to make commentaries on hockey, those two periods of time were so far away from each other that I didn't think there would be any overlap. But alas, here we are, talking about Elliotte Friedman's recent Saturday headlines from yesterday's Hockey Night in Canada broadcast. You might have been able to catch this actually during the opening segments of yesterday's 4 p.m. games, so Montreal, Edmonton, Toronto, Colorado, and Winnipeg, Philadelphia. This was after the Canucks ended up beating the Buffalo Sabres 1-0, but Elliotte Friedman's Saturday headlines went out there and had some pretty interesting conversations, and the video to the entire segment will be linked in the description if you want to go ahead and listen to this yourself. But the most interesting part about this Friedman Saturday headline segment, forget the Corey Perry news, forget the Jack Campbell stuff, forget all the extra things about teams and situations we're already familiar with. At the end, Elliotte Friedman talks about a comeback, and he goes out there and says on Saturday headlines that there is one player who is trying to make his name back in pro hockey. Cody Hodgson. And I watched this segment on TV. I was, trying to make the post-game of the Canucks and the Sabres, and I just had the Saturday headlines on in the background. And when Cody Hodgson's name showed up on the bottom of the screen there, I had to pause the video recording of the Canucks and Sabres post-game, turn the TV back on, took the volume off of mute, and I just listened with my jaw on the floor. Take a look at the summary made on Our Hockey. According to Elliotte Friedman, Cody Hodgson has a clean bill of health and is no longer suffering from malignant hyperthermia. He was cleared last summer and has been skating and training 5 to 6 times per week, and he would like to try again as a pro hockey player. He knows he is not going to be starting in the NHL, but he wants to get back into pro hockey. And that is mind-blowing. That is amazing. And for anybody who has been around hockey for the past 10 years or so, even further beyond that, let's say 15 years, just to be safe. Anybody who's been around for at least 15 years, fans of the Sabres, fans of the Canucks, you know who Cody Hodgson is, and you know why he is an important name. I'm going to start speaking from the experience of a Canucks fan who was 10 years old back in 2010. I was 11 years old back in 2011. So Cody Hodgson was a former Vancouver Canucks top prospect taken 10th overall in 2008. Yeah, we're going super far back here, folks. Right now, he's 33 years old, 6 feet, 192. Maybe he's not 6 feet, 192 specifically, but those are the last stats that were listed when he was still, in the NHL or still a pro hockey player. 6 feet, 192 right-handed center from Markham, Ontario, Canada. Back when Hodgson was taken in this 10th overall spot, it was seen as a pretty okay pick. I mean, Elite Prospects doesn't go that far back on its draft rankings, but if you search up 2008 NHL Draft prospects, you can still find a few lists that do exist. For example, the Future Considerations 2008 Draft Guide still exists on the internet, and if you scroll down to their overall rankings, they had Cody Hodgson as the 7th overall guy, in front of guys like Tyler Myers, Michael Del Zotto, Jordan Eberle, Josh Bailey, a few other extra names you might be familiar with too. But Cody Hodgson was seen as one of the top prospects in this year's draft, and for good reason. In the 07-08 season, as the captain of the Brampton Battalion, he had himself 85 points in 68 games played, 40 goals, 45 assists. The scouting report reads that he was a good center who can finish and create plays, fantastic hockey sense, good creativity and two-way game, suffers from his lack of size, and has issues with strong defensemen. If you wanted to give the easy SparkNotes version as to what Cody Hodgson was for the Vancouver Canucks in 2008, Cody Hodgson was pretty much Bo Horvat before Bo Horvat was even Bo Horvat. Anything that you could say that Bo Horvat was for the Vancouver Canucks, a leader, two-way guy, penalty kill, clutch goal scorer, nice plays, etc., etc., Cody Hodgson kind of had exactly that same mold. It's just that he wasn't, as big. So, when Cody Hodgson was drafted in '08, the Canucks were on a pretty interesting spot in their timeline. They were becoming good, but not really like the best. Sedins were starting to enter that prime age. Luongo was fantastic. You started to sort of see other guys manifesting into better players. Kessler, Burrows, Alex Edler, Bieksa. And so Cody Hodgson was like the light at the end of the tunnel. He was this young guy that would come in and inject a new hope into this lineup. And as his career progressed in the OHL, he showed that he was good. And even in the AHL, he showed he was good. In 2010-2011, when the Vancouver Canucks made the Stanley Cup Finals, Cody Hodgson did play in that playoff run. He had 12 games played, 1 point. He wasn't really a full-time established player at that point in time, but he was there. And a lot of people were super excited because this would be the next generation of Vancouver Canucks scoring. Now, sure, 2010, 2011, Sedins were still getting 100 points every year. Kessler was still a 40-goal guy, so it's not like Canucks fans were eagerly anticipating the next wave, but Cody Hodgson was going to headline that. And along with other prospects taken in this area, you saw Nick Jensen get taken in the 2011 draft. Jordan Schrader was taken a little bit earlier too. These were supposed to be the next Canucks. But Mike Gillis wasn't really all too great at drafting Vancouver Canucks, especially towards the end there. The only real success that he had was Bo Horvat, and that was 2013, after Cody Hodgson was gone. You see, in the 2011-12 season, Vancouver traded Cody Hodgson to the Buffalo Sabres for Zach Kassian. Hodgson in this season had 33 points in 63 games played. 16 goals, 17 assists, definitely not bad. But when he got traded, I remember this very, very well, actually. I was in elementary school, it was grade 6, and I went to the principal's office just alarmed seeing this news on my computer screen in the computer lab because one of my friends had office duty that day. He was keeping in charge of the office, and I just barged in there, said, "Hey, Cody Hodgson got traded," and they're like, "What?" And then we looked it up on the computer, we saw the return. The trade went as follows: Cody Hodgson and Alexandra Saltzer for Zach Kassian and Marc-Andre Grignani. That was not a good trade from a lot of Canucks fans' POVs, because Zach Kassian in this timeline just wasn't the top prospect of the future like Cody Hodgson was. And to be frank, Zach Kassian did not have a Cody Hodgson-like era in the Vancouver Canucks system. In fact, it was pretty bad that he was here. Cody Hodgson was seen as this young guy with so much potential and who could be a #1 center, and he was all this and more in the eyes of Canucks fans into the future. But as his career went on, he played with the Buffalo Sabres, maxed out at 44 points in 72 games played in 2013-14. Really good, actually. 20 goals in the season, too. But his career slowly fizzled out afterwards, playing for the Sabres, the Predators, and the Milwaukee Admirals until the end of 2016. That was the last time Cody Hodgson played pro hockey, and it was because he got diagnosed with malignant hyperthermia. Via Elliot Friedman on a TV hit, this affected the muscles of the guy, this affected the way he was able to move, and so Cody Hodgson was forced to retire way too early. And if we think about it, I mean, 2015-16, that was 8 years ago, the guy would have been 25 years old. He was forced to retire way too young without having the superstar caliber seasons that people thought he'd be able to accomplish back when he was initially drafted. It was such a tragic story, and a lot of people felt pretty bad. Cody Hodgson kept his name in relevancy, though, because he did actually model for a clothing line. Coho Apparel was a brand started by Cody Hodgson's brother, and it was named after Cody Hodgson. Coho, Cody Hodgson, right? And this was pretty popular back when it was announced. A lot of Canucks fans still kept Cody Hodgson in their memories as one of the top younger guys, but eventually it's gotten to a point now where Elliot Friedman's saying, yeah, Cody Hodgson wants to come back. He's apparently cured of malignant hyperthermia, and he's been training 5 to 6 times a week. He knows he's not going to start in the NHL, but wherever it is, ECHL, AHL, maybe works his way back up. Who really knows? The guy's 33 years old now. That's crazy. Like, my vivid memories of Cody Hodgson were back when he got traded and everybody was freaking out about it in Vancouver because this was a top young guy that got moved around for Zach Kassian. And Cody Hodgson back in that time frame was like 20, 21 years old in that time span. That was just a huge blast to the past, and it's why I am kind of shocked to make this video, as well as very excited, because if Cody Hodgson, of all people, is able to find himself back into the NHL in any capacity, even if it's just signing a two-way contract to play in some NHL team's farm system, then that's going to be the biggest win of the year. 100%. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you're a Canucks or a Sabres fan, what are your thoughts on Cody Hodgson potentially making his return? Are you excited about this as I am? Are you as pessimistic as some other fans seem to be? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. 99, and bye.